Hey, hi everyone. What will you learn in this session today? Let's see. In this session, we are going to cover string modifications in Python. Essentially, we will see what is string concatenation and how are we going to do string formatting in Python. So let's get started. So I have Visual Studio open on my system, and as we can see, I have just empty Python file. Here we can write Python code. So let's start with string concatenation. So let's say I have one string x is equal to let's say page not found, and let's say we have another string which I call message is equal to the error is. Fair enough. So we have two strings. Now I want to combine these two strings, or I want to concatenate these two strings, right? So concatenation means to join two strings or to combine two strings. So x and message, these are two strings, and I want to concatenate. In Python we can use plus operator for concatenation. So let's see. So I'm using print function. Here I'm going to print message and plus x. Pretty simple. So this plus sign is the concatenation operator, and I'm joining these two strings using plus operator. Pretty simple. Let me run this program by clicking this play button, green button on right top corner. So if I click on this, so in the terminal logs we should see this message, error page not found. The error is page not found, correct? So the error is page not found. Pretty simple. So I can see these two strings got combined. Okay, let's say now x is, let's say 404. Let's see what happens in this case. So now again we have same variable x. In this time I have put 404, a number, an integer, into x. Message contains a string and x contains number value or integer value. Let's run this program. As we can see in the terminal, we got trace back, which means there is some problem, and Python is saying, hey, type error. This concatenation, right, can only concatenate str, not into str, which means we can combine string to string using plus operator, but we cannot combine. Python is complaining that hey, you cannot combine a number 404 with plus sign, right? But the requirement is I want to print the error is 404, and it could be like a real life example, like it could be real life requirement, right? I want to print some number within the string. The error is 404. Then how we can solve this problem in Python? So for that, Python provides format function, right? So we can use format. So this time we will not use plus because this is number and this is a string. So plus cannot be used. So Python says, hey, in these scenarios you can use format function. So if you write message.format, correct, message.format, this message is string and string class provides format method, so I'm calling message.format. But here I have to use curly braces, right? I have to define a placeholder for this number. So in my string in which I want to concatenate another string, I have to provide a placeholder by using curly braces, right? And in this format function I will pass, okay, I want to format x into my message. Simple, two lines of code. In message I have to define a placeholder with curly braces, I repeat, and I will call format method, and I'm saying, hey, I want to format this message by passing x, which means 404. When I say by passing x, which means I'm passing it, right? So there should be some placeholder for x. So x goes into this curly braces, and in the console, in the terminal, we should see now the error is 404. Let's run. So as we can see in the terminal, now we got the message, the error is 404. Pretty simple. Now no complaints, no traceback, no type error, correct? And happily we are able to combine string, the error is, with the number 404 by using format method and with curly braces. And let's say now we have few more numbers, right? Let's say xy, let's say we have this 200, correct? Now there are two numbers, x and y, and now let's say I want to see, let's say the message is now maybe some expected is some placeholder but actual is, and then so what essentially I'm doing, so let's say I have this message, I want to print expected is some number but actual is another number. And when I say I'm using these two curly braces, which means I'm defining a placeholder for two things, for two stuff, right? So which means I can pass two things because I have defined two placeholders with curly braces. So in this case, message.format, I can use x comma y, right? X comma y. So x contains 404 in fact, and y contains 200. In fact, everybody expects 200 when it's assuming it's HTTP status code, but the actual is 404 because of some client error. So let's say I want to see, okay, I will tell you another thing how we can do, but let's see, I'm passing x and y, two placeholders are there. Let's see what the message is. So as you can see, the expected is 404 but actual is 200, right? But let's say I want expected is 200 but actual is 404. In that case, what I can do, I can use index also, right? So this is at index 0 and this is at index 1. This format parameters can be called with index. So this is x is at index 0, y is at index 1. So let's say here I am saying index 0 and here I am saying 1. Now let's see what happens in this case, which means in the placeholder I can define indexes also. Let's run now, and now you can compare. This time we are getting expected is 200 but actual is 404, right? So I hope you understood this concept. If we don't specify any index within placeholder curly braces, the initial one, when there is no numbers inside curly braces, the order in which we have given x comma y, it will appear in the string. So whatever contains x, it will come into here, whatever y. So in whatever order we have given x comma y, same order will be preserved. But if you want to change the order and if you want to use index, and this is the example which I have done. So I have used index, so x0 I have placed over here, and y is an index 1, I have said 1, y contains 200, that's why we are getting expected is 200. So with index we can rearrange our parameters, but if we don't specify any index in the curly braces, which means the order in which parameters are appearing in the format function, same order will appear in the concatenated string or the formatted string, I would say. Alright, so let me recap whatever we have covered today. So if there are two strings or three strings, we can use plus operator for concatenating it, for joining it. But if there is a number and a string, then we have to use format method, and in format we can pass what we want to combine, and in the original string we have to provide some placeholders with the help of curly braces, and rest of the examples we have already covered. With that, let's see what was in our agenda. So for today I wanted to cover two topics essentially: string concatenation and string formatting, and that we have done using this example. With that, I would like to conclude today's session, and thank you so much for watching. All right. Bye bye.